full weeks to go. Okay? So this week we are going to deal with quadratic systems of equations. I'll explain what those are here in a minute. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll deal with quadratic systems. This week, Friday, we are going to take a summative quiz. Okay? Next week, Monday, is going to be review day of conic sections. Next week, Wednesday, the 10th, is going to be your summative test for Unit 8, which is your conic sections unit. Thursday and Friday of next week, 11 and 12, are going to be reviewing for your final. Your final will be on May 15th, and it can spill over into May 17th. Okay? I don't know how long you're going to need for it. I'm giving you 2 class periods to get it done. Okay? Wherever you're at on Wednesday, May 17th, that's what I grade. Okay? Questions on that? Then I will have them back to you for sure by Friday the 19th, more than likely Thursday the 18th I'll have them back to you on, and then we can talk NTC grades and whether or not you are going to want me to submit the grade to NTC. Okay? So with that being said, a great warm-up for today is solving this system of linear equations as a refresher, not only for the final that you have coming up in 2 weeks, but also as a good jumping off point for today. So please solve this system of equations. Any method you choose. So what are my options here to solve this system of equations? I got 4 of them. Substitution, elimination, remember the other 2? You don't like it. It's what? No. It's something that you don't like. Fraction. Starts with G. G. Grouping. Graphing. Graphing. Okay. And what's the other one? The other one's the new one that we learned this semester. Starts with an M. Matrices. Yeah. So you got those 4 ways. I'm going to specifically choose only because it's going to help us in about 5 minutes. I'm going to specifically choose substitution. Okay? So if I am going to be substituting in this linear system of equations, what do I need to do? What's my first step? Solve one of them for one of the variables, right? Okay? We always, and I said make it easy on yourself. So which variable is the easiest one to solve? Bottom one for x. Okay? So if I solve the bottom equation for x, I get, oops, got the break. I don't get that. That's for show. I get x equals 10y plus 6. Agree? What do we do after we solve one of the equations for one of the variables? Plug it back into the other equation, correct? So then that would be 3 times my x, but my x is now 10y plus 6, then plus 4y equals 1. And then I got to go through and I got to solve that, right? Okay. So I would distribute the 3, gives me 30y plus 18 plus 14y plus 4y equals 1. That gives me 34y equals negative 17. That gives me y equaling negative 1/2. Plug it back into one of the two equations. I'm going to choose the second equation. And I get x equals 1. Agree with me so far? Okay. What do I have to do now before I give my answer? I should check, right? Okay. So if I check this, 3 times 1 plus 4 times negative 1/2 is going to be 3 minus 2, which is 1, and that needs to be 1. That is correct. Works there. If I check it in the second equation, I get 1 minus, not minus 5, I'm getting ahead of myself, minus 10 times negative 1/2, and that needs to be 6. Well, this is 1 minus negative 5, which is like 1 plus 5, which is 6. Yes, it works out. So my final answer then I put in point form because it intersects at an actual point, and I get 1 comma negative 1. Agree? Good stuff. So that is a linear system of equations, because those were two lines that intersected. Okay? And we said that they could either intersect in no points, 1 point, or infinite points. Okay? Today, what we're going to switch to is we are going to switch to a quadratic system of equations. A quadratic system of equations contains one or more conic sections. So I gave you 4 examples of what a quadratic system looks like. Now the nice thing is there's 2 different kinds. There's quadratic systems with 1 conic and usually 1 line. And then there's quadratic systems with 2 conics. Today we're going to deal with the 1 conic systems. Wednesday and Thursday we'll deal with the 2 conic systems. Huh? Same type of process. You're looking for the points of intersection. So if it's a line in a circle, it could intersect in 2 spots. It could intersect in 1 spot. It could not intersect at all. If you're dealing with a parabola and a parabola, it could intersect in 1 spot, 2 spots, or no spots. Okay? Could intersect in 4 spots. Okay? Because if we had a parabola that opened up, and I had a parabola that opened right, let's say, we could intersect in 4 spots. And we'd have to find all 4 of those spots. Okay? We could have a line intersecting a parabola. Could intersect 1, 0, 1, or 2. Okay. We could have a parabola and an ellipse. This one just happens to be in 4. Okay. So you're going to have to find possibly multiple intersection points. Okay. At the end of all of these problems, you should check your work, make sure that it works, that checks out nice and pretty, and it's done. So in order to do that, in order to get into that thinking, let's try this one. I want to know, is the given point a solution to the system? Okay. What do you think we're going to do with these? We're going to plug it in. We're going to plug in what for x? What for y? Bingo. Let's do it. Okay. So if I plug in 2 for x and 1 for negative y, I would get negative 1 equals negative 2 times 2 plus 3. Negative 2 times 2, negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3, negative 1. And negative 1 is equal to negative 1, so it does check out in the first one, correct? Okay. Check it in the next one. Negative 1 would equal 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 3. 2 squared is 4. 6 times 2, 12. Negative 4 minus 12. Negative 8 plus 3. Negative 5. Is negative 1 equal to negative 5? No. So that one is not a solution. It's got to work in both equations in order for it to be a solution. So let's dive in to solving a system of equations, taking something like this and getting what the actual solution to that system is. So, when you are given a line and a conic, okay, given a line and a conic, you're going to want to use substitution. It's by far the easiest method. You don't have to square both sides. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just do substitution. Now, if you'll notice, the steps for substitution in a quadratic system mirror those steps that we did in the warm-up problem for substitution of a linear system. First step, solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Okay, sounds really familiar. What we just did in the warm-up. In this particular case, that's done for us because we have a y equals x minus 1. Okay? So we have that done. Second step, now we're going to take that and we're going to substitute it into the other equation. So I'm going to go here with x squared plus, and in place of y, I'm now going to put x minus 1, and that's going to equal 13. Now, I just have to do that math. I got to solve that equation, which is what we had in the last one, too. Okay? Now, here is where you are going to make your probably most common mistake, or the spot that people make the biggest mistake. they say that this right here is x squared plus 1. This part right here. It is not x squared plus 1, or x squared plus 1. Because this is really x minus 1 times x minus 1. So that becomes x squared minus x is minus 2x plus 1. That will be your biggest mistake because you want to just be able to square each term. If it were multiplication, yes, you could square each term. But because it's addition or subtraction in that parentheses, you've got to write it out and multiply it out. Okay? This then gets us 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 equals 0. What did I do there? What did I do there? What? And what else? Why? To get it equal to 0. Because it's a quadratic, we've got to get it equal to 0. Okay? Now, what can I do with 2x squared minus 2x minus 12? I can divide everything by 2. Yes. So that would give me x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. What can I do with that? Somebody said it? I can factor it. Yeah. What does it factor to be? Now what can I do with those? What? It's x and x. So what can I do with those? Solve for those, how? Well, use the zero product property. Okay. Once I'm there, now I have to find the points that I need. So I take, first off, I take x equals 3, and I plug it back into either one of these two original equations. Which one do you want to plug it into? Bottom one. Make it easy on yourself. I get it. Okay? So then that's going to become y equals 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that would be y equals 2. Then I have to take x equals negative 2, and I plug that one into the bottom equation. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. So I've got y equals negative 3. And before I give my final answer, what should I do? I should check them, right? So my two possible answers are going to be 3, 2, and -2, -3. So if I check them by plugging them back in, 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, 9 plus 4 is 13. So that checks out there. 2 is 3 minus 1. So that checks out in both equations. Then I got to check -2 squared plus -3 squared to make sure that that's still 13. 4 plus 9 is 13. So that checks out. And then I got to check out -3 is -2 minus 1. And those both check out. So now that is my answer. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? You try that one on your own. Step 1, solve for one of the variables in one of the places. Easy one is x in the bottom. So then that's going to be x equals 8 minus 2y. And we need to plug that into the other equation. The other equation was y squared minus 10y minus 8x, but x is now 8 minus 2y plus 57 equals 0. So that's going to be y squared minus 10y minus 64 plus 16y plus 57 equals 0. That's going to be y squared plus 6y minus 7 equals 0. That's going to be y plus 7, y minus 1, which means then that we are going to have y plus 7 equals 0, so y is going to be negative 7. Y minus 1 is going to equal 0, so y is going to be 1. So my 2, now I got to plug those back in. So let's plug those back into negative 7 first. So that would be x plus 2 times negative 7 has to equal 8. So x has got to be 22. And then y equaling 1. X plus 2 times 1 equals 8. So I get 22 comma negative 7 and 6 comma 1. But we got to check it now. Make sure. One might drop out. Okay. So negative 7 squared is 49. Negative 7 times 10 is negative 70. 8 times 22 is 176. That works out, doesn't it? 49 plus 70 is 119. 119 plus 57 is 176. Minus 176 is 0. That checks out. 22 plus 2 times negative 7 is like 22 minus 14, which is 8. Then we got to do 6. So then we've got 1 minus 10 minus 48 plus 57. Negative 9, negative 57, 0. That works out. 6 plus 2 is 8. Checks out. A little more. Yeah? You can now do the front side of this week's homework.